Well, all of us are perfectly aware of all the strikes going on in Hollywood and how they're impacting our favorite projects. And it looks like Marvel Studios' visual effects workers are now about to unionize, and this could definitely impact future productions. Let's talk about why they're doing it and why I actually think this is a good thing. Well, over the last couple months, we've been getting multiple reports of how visual effects crews have been absolutely crushed by Marvel Studios' deadlines for several other projects. We've heard from multiple sources that people working for Marvel are getting absolutely trampled by the studio and their expectations in turnaround for Marvel projects that were in the pipe, particularly during Phase 4. Now, obviously, Marvel has slowed down production, and that should ease some of the pressure, but it appears the workers themselves have had enough and are making some organizational moves. Now, according to a report by Vulture, more than 50 on-set employees who work for Marvel Studios have filed a petition for an election to be represented by the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees and the National Labor Relations Board. Now, the workers are asking for this election to be held as early as August the 21st. So more than likely, this decision will be made long before the SAG and the WAG strikes are settled and could actually create another pitfall for Marvel Studios to get these projects back on task. Now, this marks the first time visual effects workers have joined forces to demand rights and wage protections and professional watchdog services that are typically part of the entertainment industry afforded to everybody else who's unionized. Now, there's some pretty good reasons why this is happening, and an interesting statement came from Bella Hoffman, who's one of the VFX people that actually worked on Hawkeye. In her statement, she actually said, "Turnaround times don't apply to us. Protected hours don't apply to us, and pay equity doesn't apply to us. Visual effects must become sustainable and safe department for everyone who's suffered far too long, and for all newcomers who need to know they won't be exploited." Now, I completely agree with Bella. You want the best of the best working on these projects, and if you're a fan of Marvel content, well, you want good artists working on them, and if you don't pay them and treat them right, they won't stick around. For the most part, the visual effects industry has remained non-unionized since the late 1970s, and this would be a major shift in the labor landscape in Hollywood, and Marvel will likely not be the last studio to see their workers make a major shift in the labor landscape. Now, for me, I have to say, I'm on the side of the VFX workers. It was really bad news when we found out Marvel was kind of exploiting a lot of these workers and putting expectations on them that were completely unrealistic. This honestly was showing in the most recent crop of Marvel products, and hopefully this is one of those things that needs to happen for Marvel to focus on quality over quantity. Labor practices that allow the studio to push these guys too far always result in subpar products, and that might be why some of the VFX we saw in the last couple of years were really just not up to snuff. So I think taking care of these artists, doing it right, and providing some consistency will provide consistency in the end product, and that's what we want as fans. Now, how the vote goes on August the 21st seems like a pre-gone conclusion, and it could complicate some future projects or even see another strike that we weren't counting on. But how all it works out, we're going to have to wait and see.